So, a couple things I'm learning about how I have to approach meeting girls in the marketplace. There's a couple of things that help out, right? So I never really thought of why I was successful in the past when it came to bagging bitches. But the one thing for sure is you have to be in a position of feeling comfortable with yourself. And that's going to be different for every man. But there's different requirements every man has. There's just rules that you have to live by that if they're compromised, you as a man are not okay with. For some, it's being told what to do. Some people, it's just simply getting respect. For some people, for some men, it's a specific income amount. For some people, they like to be number one. They like to be the leader of an idea. Whatever the case is, however it's done. I encourage you boys to keep pushing. There's a lot going on in this world, man, and the thing is it's not that we're not capable of making it happen and putting it together. We have enemy fire, man. We have enemy fire, and it's happening so subtle. We're coming against each other in ways that the ROI on because there's people that benefit, right? So there is people that benefit from what's happening, but I believe they could benefit as well from the structure that we have coming up. In terms of baddies, what I'm noticing is, what I'm learning is I still have to hunt, even though my attitude has adjusted accordingly, meaning, so this is my mentality. I'm gonna start a new video. No, I'm gonna keep it going because if not, I'll fuck up and I won't drive the point. But so this is my mentality that I've had with bitches for the last, I don't know, it took some time to develop it, but now I genuinely feel this way. But it's a problem. But it works. Like, it's not even, it's crazy, but I'm genuinely starting to get the shift. But at first, I used to be super respectful with women. I used to always hold the doors. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I still say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to the right woman. If it's in a business setting, in the respect. But in terms of just regular shit, if I'm walking inside of a gas station and I know that there's a girl behind me, and I don't care how fucking pretty she is, I'm opening that door as if it was a nigga. I'm opening that door, I'm walking through that bitch for me, and I don't give a fuck. And some people may say that's rude, and it absolutely is. But again, there's one thing, like, I don't do it for that. I don't do it for appreciation. When I did hold the door, I wasn't doing it for a thank you. I don't believe I was. Maybe my action speaks otherwise or differently, but I could for sure sense when somebody is expecting, and I guess I want to say ungrateful too. So I guess I kind of was expecting, in a sense, some type of feedback. But yo, these bitches, I've been through a couple of times where just, I don't know, man. It's just, you can tell they kind of expect shit to be done already for them. So I've started to adapt a different mentality, and that mentality is exactly what I've been communicating. Like, fuck bitches, fuck these hoes, man. I ain't giving them all that attention. So when I know there's a bad bitch, it sucks too, because I'll be wanting to see. I like appreciating girls. I love that shit, man. But Like, I realize that all I'm doing is just giving them what they want. That's attention. And once they get it, that they take that shit, they steal it, like the thief at night, and they fucking run with it, and they fucking go home, and I don't fucking know what they do. But I sure in the hell ain't getting none of those cheeks. That is one thing I do know. So with that being said, if that's been my reality, I said, man, fuck these hoes, bro. I'm giving all this fucking attention for what? They don't even acknowledge me, bro. Like, so I said, all right, bet. So anytime I see a bad girl in my peripheral, I just say, fuck you. Like, in my head, I'm genuinely saying, fuck you. Because I know she bad. I know she cute. Like, in my head, I already know she's attractive. I already know that I would hit. All that, I know. But in my head, I'm genuinely saying, fuck you. And I don't even, like, look. Like, sometimes some of them catch me. Some of them, I'm like, damn, I gotta see that ass. I gotta see that ass. Fuck that. Fuck pride and all that. I gotta see what you got. But there's some bitches that I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. And this is how I look at it. In many ways, I know why I'm doing it, but I also look at it like this. Their luster is running out. They are starting to become tarnished. Their waist. They're literally, damn, the is so clean. They're literally tarnished, in my opinion. They've been destroyed. They've exchanged too many transactions for something that has no monetary value. It has no monetary value. It does. It doesn't have, I don't know the right word, intrinsic value? It doesn't have real, actually, I'm bullshit. It has a real value. Get financially educated, figure out what the definition of money is, what it isn't, all that shit. And then that a lot of times will illustrate what I'm trying to talk about when it comes to the trade-off that we make for money. Even me, I'm not saying I'm not in this category. Listen, I trade my time for money. I love this industry I'm in because at least I'm fucking helping somebody every time I leave my goddamn house. Even though some people don't appreciate it. And just recently, this fucking recent customer just canceled on me when I drove like fucking 45 minutes to go pick up the vehicle. Cancel? Like, I was hoping to punch her in the face. But because I left in this truck and this truck is dope as hell, I ain't tripping. I do that shit again. Typical. So I came back to the yard. Man, my fucking towing spirit's been renewed. I came back to the yard. Came back to the yard so I could I'm gonna at least break one just in case. Like this. And then I'm gonna bring one strap just in case I get a police call and I got a fucking strap. I got a strap just in case I get a damn, this shit, I don't think you need any straps. This bitch go way out. Yeah, you don't need strap with this. The tire sits in this. I don't think you, I think that's why. I don't think you need straps. I think they just let that bitch fucking sit. But still gonna bring one strap just in case. Just in case. Because I would not want to be traveling with no straps. I see people do it. Don't get it twisted. I see a lot of, not a lot, but I see a few folks do it. That should be good. Should be good. So yeah, I got my J hooks. Them bitches are, to me, I love that shit. When it comes to being in, when it comes to getting accident calls, I'm not trying to figure out where are the hooking points. I just want to fucking reach under there, clank clank, let's go. And there's this truck. I don't know if this is below. I don't know if it's used heavy on that, to be honest. Reason I don't know is because, yeah, no, it does. It gets used a fair amount of times. So yeah, and even if I know where to connect, which a lot of vehicles I do know where to connect, sometimes I see, I'm sure there's a way, I haven't done it, and I haven't used my mind enough to figure it out. I don't be trying to figure shit out on the scene. I be trying to get in and out. So I like the big hooks. I like the J hooks. Put the motherfuckers on, and yeah, man, I just need some. Just give me some, and she gonna yank. She gonna yank. This wings, this motherfucker pulls quick as fuck. I'm looking forward. I don't think I'm gonna get a police call. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't got one yet. So far I got 2 calls. Could be a slow day, Saturday. One's supposed to be working today, goddamn it. But one thing, a lesson that I have to teach myself is, even though I noticed the difference, the change in women, and it's funny because like I'm not even, it's so crazy. This is 100% crazy. It makes no sense. Like there's times where I do my beard mainly for women because I want to seem somewhat presentable and. Seem somewhat presentable and shit. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck you. That shit didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, that shit didn't work. You try to be on your toes, be on point, and these bitches still step over you like you ain't shit. Which is cool. I'm not complaining. What I'm saying, that's the reality. So I was like, alright. So I started to readjust my mentality and just say, fuck these bitches, all of them. Wouldn't hold doors for them. I just did my thing, kept living my life, and I see a shift, a major shift. Like women are starting to like try to like, I don't know how to explain it, and it's from peripheral. Like it's happening because I know it's happening because I'm also aware of what happens when a girl doesn't. I've been ignored a lot too, man. You know what I'm saying? And even though I see these girls from peripheral, that's about it. And if that's like the world we live in works like this. Like it's tough to see somebody twice in one. Like it's tough. It's just so much going on, especially people just moving in and out. When somebody wants to get your attention, they will. That I know. Men do it more, I think the word is overtly, while girls do it covertly. I think I said it wrong, but right, I don't know. But guys do it, we have to be more direct about it. We have to listen. It depends what the setting is like, you know what I mean? If you're at a bar, you could be a little more open. If you're at a grocery store, you gotta be a little more subtle. We know. Those that got game, they know how you gotta adjust. You gotta adjust in order to accommodate the situation and talk to women in the marketplace. girls, what I'm noticing, and instead of getting offended by it, I'm gonna get a lesson out of it and hopefully teach somebody else something. But women do it in like a real subtle way. So I noticed these girls recently, just a lot recently, girls have been like kind of not physically going like this, but they've been, putting themselves in my radar. And I haven't switched my mentality to wanting to even pay them any attention, because I've been rejected so many times by these hoes that in my head, psychologically, like internally, I've conditioned myself to keep saying fuck these hoes. So it's like, now I gotta switch over to, like caring enough to even talk to them. Like I'm not motivated enough to want to fucking communicate with these bitches. I want to fuck, but I don't really have the energy to try to build a relationship. And as much as I'd like to actually build a relationship, the crazy thing is that bitches actually enjoy fake. They actually will prefer you be fake as you build a relationship. Like, they want to hear sugar. They want to hear all this shit. They want to hear the bullshit. They want to be sold dreams. So in essence, a strong percentage of men that are winning in this space is those guys. Another strong percent is those that flex. Both those that can and can't. There's a market for both, right? So there's a market for those that actually can flex. There's bitches that can smell that shit from a mile away. And then there's a market for men that could finesse the flex game. There's a market for that as well. Why I communicate all this is because as a young person, you don't really know the different games people play, if you will. These are all sectors in the psychological realm of humanity. These are games women will play with men. And you gotta recognize this shit. It's not bad either. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just you gotta recognize this shit because, bro, like I'm all about playing and having fun in life, but we all need to have an opportunity to win, or at least, we need an opportunity to win. I think the best way to do that is by giving everybody the fucking rules they need to be able to make progress in life. Starts with the rules, ladies and gentlemen. It starts with the rules. So keep that in mind. Keep growing. Keep developing. And remember, if you have any questions, send me an email at Bison, BIISON, Bison at masteracquisition.com. Send me an email at Bison at masteracquisition.com. If you are looking to expand your business, if you are generating revenue, or if you have a marketing budget over $1,500. If you don't have a marketing budget that's over $1,500, I'm not going to be able to help you. But I could direct you to www.masteracquisition.wordpress.com. Right now it's WordPress. Eventually it's going to be just masteracquisition.com. It is that, but the domain is paid for. It's live. But in order for me to actually have a live blog, where I create my blog is off WordPress. So in order for me to have the WordPress logo removed, I have to have the business plan for WordPress. And I already paid like $1 something for the domain and hosting for my master acquisition domain. So with that being said, I ain't had the money to just throw another how much was it? I'd have to pay a little bit more it depends, because I want the more premium version, and I have to pay, and I really would rather pay for it instead of monthly. I'd rather pay for it annually. That's one. And two, I don't want the business standard or I want like one of the premium versions, because outside of having that WordPress slogan removed or logo removed, I also want to be able to utilize a plugin feature, a couple plugin features, and you can only do that on the third tier up. So regardless, even if I did remove the blog, I guess that'd be cool from a month to month. So I'll be increasing my expenses, but from the ROI perspective, based on what I'm doing and just having that blog alone, I don't think it's not gonna need me having masteracquisition.com versus having the WordPress isn't really changing anything for me right now, because my clients are going to come from like me actually talking to customers. I got business cards. They should be coming in the mail soon, within the next couple of days. And yeah, and then as I document as well my life, I'll just offer the service, let people know that this is what I do. But I'm just throwing criteria as well. I do not want to, it's not necessarily that I don't want to help, but I'm not in the business of, my niche is not educating somebody on the importance of, like, I'm not trying to convince somebody to advertise. I will educate somebody if they genuinely don't know, but once we get into me trying to fight somebody and educate them, like, hey, have to be doing this, and then on top of that, then trying to sell them my service, and then this is what I'm going to be doing. It's like, no, I'd rather connect with somebody that A, is already in the business. But the question, now that I'm speaking about this out loud, is would I be willing to educate, like walk somebody through that process? The question, yes. The answer to that is yes. I'm willing to educate somebody, and I just don't want to. It's just like the whole women situation. It's like, I want them, but bitch, I'm not fucking trying to dance for you to be like, bitches are crazy, bro. Like, they genuinely are. I seen somebody use this analogy recently, and it was like, they're like a fucking dancing monkey. It's like, you know, look what I could do, look what I could do. And it's just a perpetual cycle, and then you just keep winding it up, and look what I could do, just trying to impress these fucking women. And it's so expensive from a spiritual, financial perspective. It's, to me, the ROI is not worth it. I'm not in the business of trying to, like, bitch, if you can't see me for who I am at this level, then peace. Like, there's nothing more than this. Because the second that I try to approach a girl with a level 1, everything on top of that has to be level 3. And then if I want to keep fucking with her, if I have to stay above level 3, anything above 3 and up, I'm Gucci. If I slip at any moment, I'm not, listen, I understand this world that we live in, and maybe some people maybe that is the pressure that has made a SpaceX. Maybe that's the type of pressure that has created successful businesses. Pussy. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I suppose maybe I don't know if it's a downfall or a good thing, but when I was younger, I was blessed. It could be a curse too, but I was able to have a lot of women in my life smashed. So because of that, I think that's a part of why I really don't care as much to try to fuck these hoes. I definitely know that it's not worth it to pay for it. Like, I think if I would have never experienced having a lot of women early on in my life, I would have thought it was worth it, and I at least would have went through the phase of paying for these bitches already. Because I've had sex with, I won't say a lot, not so much, but a lot. It's been a minute, and I'm kind of back down to, and now it wouldn't seem like a lot based off the time that it's been without me getting. But I was on a good roll, if you will, at an early age. But somewhere down the road, I went a long time without getting, and now I'm probably far behind. I'm not okay with it, but I also see shit for what it is as well, and I don't beat myself up as much because of what it is. And I also know it's not worth it. Like, would I rather have sex than be my me, of course? But would I rather, based on where I am right now from an income perspective, would I rather be my me or have another girl in my life be my me? Fuck that. It's just too much of a headache. And they're expensive. I don't have the money for it, so fuck that. Let's go get a slice of pizza, bitch. Cheese, no toppings. Fuck out of here. New York style at that. Fuck, man. Go to any of these places, man, I'll be paying like 16, 17, sometimes 20 bucks for a meal. Imagine if I had another fucking head with me. And then on top of that, a fucking family? How the fuck? I don't understand, bro. Like, one lunch is wiping me out completely. It just don't make sense. But niggas is doing it. I just don't see how. I need to learn. But in the meantime, if I haven't figured that shit out, if I haven't figured out how to make big boy money, I need to stay solo. No women in my life. I can't believe I left this house. I did all that shit for nothing. I was at home digging. Left, rushed. 40 fucking something minutes. My eye is still fucking twitching. Which means I'm exhausted. But yeah, fellas, if there's one thing you could take away from this video, if you haven't got something already, it's follow Fresh and Fit. Follow any of Andrew Tate's content. Everybody has their own strength. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own role. The goal is for you to figure out your own shit, figure out your own niche, and how you want to approach this shit. But we ain't going out without a fight. And I'm not talking about physical fight. I'm talking about psychological fight, man. This shit is a war. And these women know exactly what they're doing. Not all of them. There's some really good women out there. And thank you to all those women. In fact, earlier as I was driving, I wanted to give a shout out. I gave a shout out, but I was thinking just in general about how grateful I am for this group of women. But I didn't tell anybody, so I'm going to document it because I don't speak on it enough. Thank you to the women that held themselves to a higher standard and still continue. And also thank you to the women that at some point woke up to the realization and stopped and began raising their standard, because that's okay too. And shout out to even the ones that haven't. I'm not mad at you. Keep doing your thing. But for you young men, you need to know what's happening, man. Like, it's a slaughter fucking house. Look at that fucking clean ass silver, Nissan Silver. Or RX, let's see what silver or RX. Or RX7, it's RX7, look. Which is fought with it, I fought with it. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want all of us to win, but in reality, boys, that's not the type of mentality that, unfortunately, the opposition has. They're not on some. I'll give you a quick example. You notice how a lot of conferences, big conferences, people that have changed men and women's lives, were led by men. A lot of conferences and guest speakers, just a countless number of men lined up, influencing the world and helping change and provide valuable content to the world. A lot of businesses have been built, valuable information has been distributed, organizations have been created. So many good things have come from conferences led by successful men, and books have been written. I'm not saying that women have not. In fact, a part of it is algorithm. I don't look for it because there's probably just as much, if not more, or maybe a little less, I don't know, valuable information that comes from women. All I know is, I don't know, because what I'm trying to say is vindictive. I want people to win, both men and women. And from what I see, is things are very one-sided. We need to gather up the troops. And again, I may not be the solution. I may not be everything, bro. But Fresh and Fit, they're a big part of what's happening in a good way. They're helping out. Andrew Tate. There's more that I just don't know the name off the top of my head. Pearly Things, just Pearly Things, that girl. There's a whole bunch of the Red Pill Lions. There's some very powerful, very, very powerful content that needs to be distributed. And if I pass away, that alone, stuff like that does me well. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read that book. Rich Cooper to me, this is like the Rich Dad, Poor Dad of relationships. But if you read Unplugged Alpha, if you want to read a more sophisticated, a higher level reading on the same topic, read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. And this is information that I'll promise you nobody's going to be talking about at the water cooler, at the mechanic shop. And this is shit that, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic for real, but it's a different type of pandemic. So today I noticed something pretty cool, but I didn't really know how to respond to it because I've not been on the hunt. I shut myself off from the sexual marketplace. So fuck these hoes, sadly. But I thought something logically through, and again, I'm not even gonna communicate. I keep stopping myself because I like it so much. It was cute, but I love what women does. I love what women does. I love what money does to women. I love that shit. So I thought about leaving. I'm not gonna say leave the country, but I thought about. I'm not gonna say leave the country, but I thought about. Definitely, I will visit, but I gotta figure it out here, where I'm at. That makes sense. I gotta figure it out here, but I for sure need to go in the meantime. While I figure it out, I need to go to other countries and get some cheeks. But in the meantime, once I do figure it out here, I love what women do and how they are when they know what's up. I love that shit, man. That shit is so fucking sexy. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. And I love it when bitches try to act like they don't know their shit, like they don't know what's up. But they know. They know. They 100% know what's up. Promise. They just be acting stupid. They be acting stupid. But it makes sense, you know, for the right nigga, they gonna fucking... I don't know if this is the charger for this. Oh, could be. This looks different. I think this charges it as well. It's bad out there, boys. It's bad. We need to get our shit together, man. We need to unite. Not on some, like, fight anybody or anything. Like, genuinely, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fighting or anything. But we come against each other often. Where a lot of our problems is happening right under our noses, man. Straight up. A lot of our problems is happening right under our noses. Try to find the charger for this this. I can't find it. So yeah, man, just stay vigilant, boys. You know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, send me an email at bison, B-I-I, with 2 I's, bison, at masteracquisition.com. If you're overcoming anything, man, if you feel, I hate to sound corny, but I'm gonna keep it a stack, man. All right? You feel alone, like you don't got nobody and shit, I'm gonna filter you, first of all, so don't be with that trolling shit. But, yeah, just know that you're not alone, number one. And there's really some bad stuff happening, as I mentioned. You know what I'm saying? You're not completely at fault. Yeah, you have to accept responsibility to a certain degree, but you're not 100% at fault in terms of what's been happening. Okay, so you're not 100% at fault. We've been misguided. I also want to communicate to you that we haven't been given the same information. Everybody's, you know, as far as young kids, boys and girls, we're in the same classroom, but I promise at some point the information that is being given is different information. You know what I'm saying? At some point, girls are just recommended to, I don't know the lessons they teach, but I know it's completely different. We're living off, and it's okay. I'm not saying we need to be given the same advice. But on the contrary, if the person that is given one of the people advice is also giving the other one advice, now that's where we could have bias. I wouldn't say bias, but sometimes, you know, just, it's not really apple versus apple comparison. You know, we're not giving each other sound advice if it's coming from somebody that doesn't walk a man's world. So again, a lot of times we listen to these women, and you know, it's okay to listen, but I also think, I know that authority was abused. I'll give an example, right? So some of us, I know for a fact that the father holds itself as a presence is what I was going to say, but I want to word it differently. In general, you know, a lot of times women use the presence of a father to discipline, right?
So they know that their kids, like women know they ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? They know it because you could just see their behavior with kids. Like they know they don't got no fucking power. But for some reason, like as you get older, they have that power because they've made you weak. Like they've essentially made you weak. It's like, I think it's called concession by 1,000 cuts or some shit. But unfortunately, you know, when it comes to women, the competition is a little bit different. But think about it from their perspective. They're like, damn, I know once that kid gets X age, I can't control them. And I'm not saying every woman has done this, but I know there's at least one girl out there that has. Make sure that you don't, you make that young kid, that young man weak. You weaken him so that he doesn't fulfill his full potential and can't hurt you and can't be as powerful as a man should be. Because women are jealous. Not all, but there's a percent, maybe just at least one, that's been hurting the world. It's like a rotten apple, a little onion. There's a bad onion somewhere out there, man. There's a bad apple somewhere. It's really close, man. It's really close, really fucking close, man. And I don't see how we don't see it, bro. Like, you know, I'm not saying that men are bad or all good and all bad. I'm not saying women are all good or all bad. It's just something real fishy, man. Like, I observe a lot, man. I've done a lot of driving through the United States. Still do a lot of driving, observing. Not only that, before, I've always been observing, listening, observing. And we need to wake up. You know what I mean? We need to wake up. They move real nice. They move silent. You know, like a snake. So be very thoughtful, guys. Very thoughtful. And the funny thing is that a lot of times, a lot of this is looked at, like, if somebody ever puts a label to something immediately or tries to, that's something, you know what I mean? Like, that's called I think it's called like a reflection or some shit, or it's called, damn, I forgot the word for it. Kevin Samuels would use it a lot, deflection. But yeah, like, people do that shit for real. Like, they just try to respond in a way with another problem and switch the situation so they don't have to address what you just got them on. Like the lie, the bullshit that you just got them on. So keep that in mind as well. That's a strategy people use. I'll quick teach you how to combat that if you ever really wanted to get information from somebody. Wanted to press them until they give it. Is as you ask the question, just know they're not going to respond with the real answer. And what you do is you just ask the question again separately in a different way. And then they're probably going to try to reflect or deflect and get offensive. The tone of voice is going to change, and then just call it out. Hey, are you open to answer this question directly? And don't say anything and just keep pressing it. A lot of times they're either going to fall on their face, or rarely would, it depends who it is, but rarely would they actually admit that they were wrong. Keep growing, keep developing.